Hi everyone, thank you for joining us. So I'll be waiting for my business partner and of course my sweet little sister, Gaz, to come online and join me in this live. Today we are supposed to discuss about education and how international education can uplift anyone. And I'll be more talking about how education can change the society, how education give empowerment to people, empowerment to women, empowerment to kids, and how things can be matured. So I'll wait for Gaz to come. Um, Gaz, I'm waiting for you.
Hello.
Hey, at last you are able to join. Great.
Yeah, finally.
Fine.
Instagram is something crazy. So
It's
how are
okay.
you?
These are
How was
all technical glitches. How are you doing? You are doing good?
Yeah, everything is amazing. It's so good at my side in Malaysia. So far, so good. How about you?
All good. Everything is fine. So we are trying
Great.
to celebrate our Republic Day tomorrow
Uh-huh.
itself, which is going to happen tomorrow. We'll talk about something different today. We'll be talking more about education, mainly on international education, and few bit of knowledge.
Exactly.
So before
Yeah.
I start, I'll be asking Gaz to probably open up the Pandora's box. So Gaz, as per my understanding goes, you have traveled from one country to another country for international study. What exactly you're studying, Gaz?
All right. First of all, I since the age of 18, I started studying English. Before that, I didn't know English because speaking English is not so common in my country, unfortunately. I started my English proficiency academic IELTS, International English Language Testing System. And why IELTS? Because I was supposed to go Australia. I was going to study there for BA. And you know, Australia, Canada, UK, US, this kind of big branded countries and Commonwealth countries, IELTS or PTE is required. The first IELTS I provided was in Armenia, in American University of Yerevan. The second one, I went to Dubai. The main reason I traveled to Dubai is because of my IELTS. And then I came here to Malaysia to study a PTE, Pearson Test of English. Although the IELTS and the score I got, it was required to study there in Australia. But to get more points, because you know you must get enough points. For me, it was 55 points to study there to be eligible. I was like, okay, I need to take PTE. I passed my PTE. PTE is actually is Pearson Test of English. It's only four years, if I don't wrong. It's already 4 years that now Australia, Canada, UK, US, and New Zealand, they will require for this English proficiency than IELTS, and it's much easier than IELTS. I won't go to the details, but for when you want to study in another country, for me, it was really necessary to know how to speak English. And English, you know, is an international language, which is much easier than other languages. And this English proficiency is required to provide and to get enough points to be eligible to study in another country. And I made it.
Great. Congratulations that you made it. But not only that you have made it, you started
Yeah.
earning actually. So you started earning as a model, you started earning as a basically a business development officer. And eventually when we met with each other, you also
Yeah.
joined Co-Innovate Ventures into our accelerator for the business development part.
Correct.
So when I look at you, you are a student, you are a professional, you are a model, you are doing probably at
Yes,
the moment 4 different kind of activities in your life. And I know I can completely
correct.
relate to it. I can completely understand how busy you are and what kind
Yes.
of schedules you have. Could you please tell our audience about your activities and why exactly you opt for such kind of opportunities? I understand one thing is, of course, making money. Second option is probably something different. So, um, if you can share a little bit about your daily activities, a brief, and why did you started doing modeling? Why did you all of a sudden choose business development? You did a couple of works as well. So, in a brief, in a nutshell, if you can share.
Well, for me, I was always thinking that I can do anything I want. It's not a fake self-esteem. That's the reality of me. When I quit my job of working with the first company when I came here, I was like, why not? I can dance. I can speak well. I can cook. Then why not? I can try to be a model. Although I'm not that. My height is. I'm not too. I'm just 165 centimeter. That's it. I'm not that high. But that tall. Sorry, but I was like, let's try. And then from a few best friends of mine, they were like, hey, yes, you have the face, you have the future, especially you look like North Indians, you look like Punjabis, so why not? You can try. And here we also got Indian race, as you know, because you traveled here as well. And then I started working. First of all, I say as a model for almost 1 year. I was just doing collaboration. It was just a collaboration. It was a win-win shoot for video shoot, for photo shoot. And then when I started feeling like yes, I really can make it, then I prefer to have this modeling job as a side income. By the way, Arjit, can you see me well? Can you hear me?
I can see you well. I can hear you well. Don't worry about it. Otherwise, I would have
But
said that
I'm sorry to say that your video is totally frozen. That's why I ask you.
you can't hear me. You can't see me.
No. I can't see you. Actually, your video is frozen.
I
Even
don't
your
have
voice
any.
is breaking.
I don't have any wildest clue because I can see myself, so I can't check it as well if I'm frozen or not.
But I can't see you. I don't know.
Can you hear
Maybe
me?
I can hear you, but your voice is breaking. Your voice is breaking a lot. I don't know what happened. I
I don't
don't
know. I
know,
have
but
full I have full network, but sometimes I can see that you are breaking as well. Can anyone from the audience can tell me that whether they can see me and they can hear me? Okay. So Farah is saying that we can hear both of you well, so you don't need to worry for that in this case.
okay, maybe I should continue. Maybe it's something wrong only with my Wi-Fi. I don't know because you are totally frozen,
That's okay.
and
We
it's
understand.
not
Yeah,
loading.
it's okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Don't worry about this technical glitch. Just continue. Yes.
yeah. It's okay, it's okay. And then right now, as a model, I made this passion into income, and now it's I'm doing it part time because being a model only for for the first occupation and the main income. Unfortunately, you can't make it a lot, especially now, after pandemic, and still, many people are struggling, even the photographers, even, the clients and those who want to work with models. But it's already my part-time job, and I really enjoy doing modeling for self-branding. And as you already mentioned, yes, I'm a professional business developer, and I'm so honored to be co-partner with you in your convention in World Leader Summit and our amazing program we have, and the more projects are gonna come. But next to all this, I'm also education consultant. I represent the best university and colleges of Malaysia and even other countries to mostly for Middle Eastern because as you know, education for me, education, was the first. And
True.
education is really, really important. It can play the main role in everyone's lives.
True.
And yes, as a professional education consultant, I also do work. And for today, I'm so happy that I can share my own experience. Although I've never been in Australia, but I met many students. I represented Australia to many students. They went there. They shared all the experience with me. I worked with many students. Actually, the first job I have done it was education consultant. Then it turned to immigration consultant because I came here. I myself was one of those students. I came here to complete all the documents, all the required documents to go Australia. And the small part was education, which was my English proficiency, like IELTS and PTE. I have a lot to talk about IELTS and PTE, but I prefer tonight we talk more about education and what kind of countries are good for especially mostly for Middle Eastern or maybe
No, we are
some other
not. We are
part of
not supposed to talk about only Middle East. We are supposed to talk about the world,
yeah
where all probably
the
people
world
can go.
exactly the
So I
world
can see,
the world.
lot many. Just to give you a small idea about our audience and their questions. I can see that my good friend and my brother George, he actually joined us. He's from Russia. He is just like my family friend. You can just call him as my brother. Definitely
Welcome.
he can treat you as a brother as well. So he asked a very simple question: why don't you consider Russia? Why only Middle East? No, George, we are not considering only Middle East. We are considering Russia. We are considering Australia. We are considering USA. In fact, to give you my small perspective, I helped a couple of students from India to go to US, settle down over there, study in their universities. Not only that, I helped around 2, 3 different professionals to travel to your country in Russia and settle down over there.
Wow.
So, in fact, I saw that my good friend Farah also joined from Malaysia. She's a dear friend. For last 2.5 years, we have been friends actually. So yeah, let me come back to the point. So the point is actually not talking about how you can study. It's about where you should study and where you should get the knowledge and how you should uh, get this knowledge. So the
Exactly.
option that we have opened, so far so good. We already collaborated with a college in Australia for the audience. We have collaboration with US-based universities. We have collaboration with a couple of more Indian and international university. And I can see that probably Gaz got audience talking about her own language.
Yeah, he's
She
my
got
mom's
excited.
cousin.
Okay, so let me
Yeah,
let
he's
me come
my
back to the
mom's
point.
cousin.
Yeah, let me come back to the
Yeah.
point. When we talk about education, when we talk about specifically on knowledge, my small understanding, my 2 cents about education, when I did my economics or when I did my master's in computers or all the other certifications and degrees, I have understood that as a faculty, as a teacher, a
Mhm.
good opportunity is to give option to the students to ask as many questions as they have. And as a teacher, it's just like a candle who gives light to all these students and burning himself or
Yes,
herself
that's
out.
right.
And that's the
That's
kind
right.
of education that we are talking over here. We are not at all talking about something on technology or doctor or lawyer. We are talking basically about a common person's perspective, how they can grow themselves. Now, talking about expanding their education in some other country, one thing that needs to be understood: how you can be educated and how you can gain knowledge. Knowledge cannot be gained only from books. I'm sorry about this statement. Knowledge
Yes.
can be gathered or should be gathered from the industry itself. Now, to filter out those knowledge, what is knowledge, what is garbage, and what you don't need, you need a basic education. For any person, for any kid, whether that's a Bharatiya, whether that's a Malaysian, whether that's someone from Middle East, or from US, or from Russia, or from Australia, or from Europe, it doesn't matter. What it matters is how you are open enough to give these kids opportunity to expand their horizon. For an example, when we talk about education, we are talking about understanding arts and logic both. In logic, we usually try to define these logical parts with physics, with chemistry, with mathematics, with basic science. In arts, we try to combine many different subjects. It can be literature, it can be various different subjects. And when we are talking about skilling, if you look at today's world, whether it is banking, whether it is technology company, whether it is talking about finance, raising funds, or whether it is creating a company, knowledge is the only key thing that can drive you towards the success. There is no other option. And in today's world, because of lockdown, because of pandemic, I fear today's kids are losing opportunity of networking with each other. They are so much connected with the electronic device that they forget that electronic device can be utilized for gaining knowledge and networking. Network with right kind of people, understand how they can grow. During this pandemic, people traveled from one country to another country for study. So this is one of the best opportunity people can grab. And doing business, working in multiple different companies while you're studying is the key to success. You might differ, but I'm just always, I love to give example of Gaz. I love to give example of Farah, my friend George, couple of others. In fact, Ahmed, he's not there in the live, but all these guys, what they have done, when they are working, they are not working in one project. They are working with multiple different projects. In today's world,
That's
there
right.
is a saying, there is an understanding. People say that, why you guys are working in so many different fields? Don't you feel you are not focused? Well, to be very
Exactly.
honest,
That's the
if you
point.
understand the basic amount of business, if you understand the basic amount of education, in my humble opinion, everything is logic. When you are drawing, you cannot draw without logic. Okay? When you use colors, it is being used by your logical
Yes.
sense. So when you
Yes.
talk about
Exactly.
study, when we talk about environment, when we are killing environment, we are not understanding it. Future generation is the only generation who will probably say that these are the cursed people who ruined our mother earth, and because of these guys, because of these middle-aged guys, we are unable to
Yeah.
move. We are just unable to live the life which we are supposed to do. So let's not change the topic towards environment. Let me stick to the education part. So Gaz, you suggested very beautiful thing that what needs to be done to study from one country to another country. I would love to
Yes.
ask you another question. When you're studying in Malaysia, do you get opportunity to ask as many questions as you want to your teachers? Or there is another method?
Now I want to talk more about this. It's a very good question. Thank you for asking. Look, as I mentioned, I studied in Iran. I studied IELTS in Iran, and when I came here, I studied PTE. And I'm gonna tell you the difference and what happened. As you know, for me in Iran, there was no native English speaker teacher who can teach me how to speak English. IELTS was so helpful when I studied in Iran. But of course, the teacher, he was already Iranian. And when we were like, what, what he's talking about, he would refer to Persian. Yes, this is what I mean. Okay? And in our own language, we were able to ask questions. Except one teacher, the others all were the same. But in Malaysia, when I came here, I had two teachers. Both of them, they were amazing. And one of them, he was from South Africa, and he was with British accent, and the way he was speaking, it was amazing. And you know, this person, he would let us to ask questions as many as possible. He was like, okay, if you don't ask me question, that means you didn't get what I studied, what I taught today, what you have learned today. And you know, if we were so silent, he would make us he would make us so noisy to talk, to ask questions. Why don't you ask questions? You have to ask. You know, for me, once I was in the class, and I really didn't have any question because he was teaching very well, you know, with all details, with everything. He was the best teacher ever. And once I didn't ask any question, he was like, okay, the rest they can go. Guys, you have to stay here. Eh? Why? Why did I ask any question? He was like, because you were so good. You said everything. So, no. Now you have to ask me questions. You know, he was forcing us to ask questions. And one other method he was doing, he was giving us. It was a book. It's called Word Formation. Word Formation book 1, 2, 3. This book, it was full of academic words. Full of academic words. And all those words, he wouldn't let us to do, you know, to use the dictionary, like Persian, English, or English, Persian. Because I had some other classmates from other countries, like Russia, like Uzbekistan, like Kazakhstan, these countries. Just like mine, we are not native English speakers. And then he was forcing us, you know, to interpret the world in English, not in our native language. And it was really, seriously, I really miss those days. Another thing he was doing, it was a very, you know, in PTE, just like IELTS, we have a part called reading, speaking, listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Okay, in that reading part, once he asked me, okay, guys, this passage number one, the paragraph 1, you really like, you are singing a song. I was like, I'm not a good singer. It was really challenging, but because of him and the way he was teaching us, from PTE is counted by 90. I got 75 out of 90 for the total score. And my speaking, I got 85. My reading 75, and but the other scores as well. But for listening 65, because I'm not very good listener.
Hey, hold on, guys, hold on. Yes. You're talking about marks. So
yeah,
do you really go for marks, or do you really go for the real knowledge? What do you prefer?
Again, another good question. You know, all those marks.
I need a very short answer, because the answers are so big, I think.
Okay. A very short answer, I want to give it to you. Actually, those marks will show how high, how good your knowledge is. For me, both are more important. Both are important. But now, because I don't need the degree anymore, knowledge is more important than the mark. Now. And now I have a question.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think in education, or even like if we want to work in future for our occupation, do you think now knowledge is more important, or knowledge and degree is more important, or the skill? Which one?
Skills.
If you want to hire someone like me, you pay attention to my resume and what I've studied, or you will pay attention to how skillful I am, and why?
Okay. First of all, you need to understand one basic thing. Couple of people are not meant for job. Couple of people are meant for doing their own, building their own empire. Okay. Those guys you cannot compare with marks, neither you can compare with the skills. Neither
That's
you
right.
can compare that with any traditional so-called degree or diploma. But if you are talking about hiring a talent,
Mhm.
I hire depending on the personality and the character.
Okay.
Skills, knowledge, these things you can give, these things you can educate, but you cannot build a character. A character is always built from the basic education that he or she is getting from their own
Mhm.
environment, their own family, their own culture. Okay. So for
Yeah,
me, I never ever hire for people who got what degree and from which institution. Institution for me is the third point. Education for me is the second point. Character for me is the first point. I will tell you the reason. I can see Ahmed, my another friend, he actually joined. Of course, I call him as brother. He didn't actually agree with your point. He said that it depends on I will hire you for what. Okay. Now, Ahmed,
okay.
you need to understand if you are going for a game of hire and fire, means
Mhm.
what job you need, for that you are hiring some person and then you fire that gentleman or the woman, then it's fine.
Yes.
But if you want
Yeah.
to employ someone who is going to build the company with you and continue the journey with you, then character is the only key thing where you cannot compromise it with any other perspective. Look at
That's right.
any company which is big company. They are doing great work. They always go for the character first, then they go for the skill. What they will do with a person who got 50 degrees from great industries, great colleges, but can't execute
Mhm.
one work. Okay,
Mhm.
this is
Yeah.
what we
Yeah.
need. This is what, as an industry, as a SME owner, MSME owner, entrepreneur, startup, industry owner, big companies, they need that, right? So that's the main key aspect. So to answer your question, I will go always with character, then I will go for the skill.
Can I share something?
Yes.
Okay, guys. Arijit and I, we never met each other in person. We just met a few months ago. It's not a very long time. It even is not one year. We just met each other in LinkedIn. And what he says is really what he does. It's not only words. His action is the same. Because we just met in LinkedIn, we went for a Zoom call, and until now, he even doesn't know where did I study. He even doesn't know what's my degree. He never asked for my resume. But I'm already his co-partner. What you said is 100% true. And look, people like you, Arjit, I'm not gonna admire you like tonight. No, we're gonna talk about education. I know that. But for this point, I really need to mention,
Thank
you
you.
are not that kind of person who just talk, sweet talkers, and then to act, a huge contrast. There is no contrast between Arijit's words and his action. Until now, he still doesn't know where did I study, what did I study, and what's my graduation. Nothing. Until now, he never asked me.
I don't
And
need to.
yeah,
I don't have
I'm
to.
so yeah, and this is what you really did. Ahmed, he has no idea of me and what I studied. we just met in LinkedIn. And yeah, what you say is 100% correct, but I just need to mention something else, then I will give the microphone to you. Arjit, about the knowledge and the mark you said, it also depends for what you need that degree. For example, for me, because I needed to go Australia, I needed a lot of, I needed 55 points. I had to give, the highest score as possible to apply and let them, let me enter to the country. But of course, even for myself, skill is more important than your knowledge. Maybe you are a professor, maybe in Harvard University, or I don't know, in Cambridge College or anywhere. But when you want to work, you're like, You even don't know how to present yourself in interview. I met many, and what you say is 100% correct.
Well, actually, there is a big gap in probably it's a worldwide gap. There will be a gap between education institutes and the real industry. The only so-called reason, at least I can talk from my country's perspective, is we are not updating our syllabus every 5 years or probably for every 6 years. So what's happening?
Correct.
Industry is growing so fast in today's world. It is very hard to cope up with the industry demand. So the urge would be to take real industry leaders who are knowledgeable enough, who understand their own industry, and who can open up doors for the students, have them as visiting faculty into the colleges. That's the only key solution that probably Indians can do. I'm sure that lot many others are following it. Thank you, Prakash, for the comment. Yeah, it's a fact. In India, we have great talents. Students are amazing. Trust me on this. Teachers are great. These teachers,
Exactly. Yes.
the kind of teachers that I know, at least I know personally, they are teaching out of passion. They are not teaching because they are getting some kind of salary. But unfortunately, guys, in India, if you look at the primary school education, we sometimes forget that in primary school, we need much more knowledgeable people. If you give education in primary
Yes.
level, which is in the highest level, these kids will have their base so clear that they don't have to cry for better education when they are in their colleges or in their master degree. Trust me on this. I can see the misery that's happening in the government schools in India, where there is a big gap. Like kids are not getting classes, unfortunately. Unfortunately, even in private schools, lot many parents feel that in private schools their kids will get amazing industry oriented education. The only humble request from my end would be probably bring these industry guys as visiting faculty. That's the only solution. Ask them for their time at least once in a week, maybe more if they can give time. Don't ask for free time. Nobody have got a free time. Okay. Give them a little bit of
Yeah.
payment. They are more than happy. It's called Guru Dakshina. That means you are admiring someone's knowledge, right?
Yeah.
You know the funny
Yeah.
fact, I will tell you one funny fact during our live, guys. I usually get lot many emails asking for becoming a board member into some incubation center. I got one invitation from one of the incubation center based out of India. I will take that example. They said that
Sure.
please be our chief mentor and advisor because our startups are not getting enough knowledge about funding. They don't know how to create fundable business. That's a different science altogether. A lot many people don't know that. It's not about creating pitch deck. It's about creating the company from the scratch, and
Yeah.
that needs real education. Okay. So I asked them that, okay, fine, I'll be more than happy. So they don't wanted to give me any money. I again said, no problem, I'm happy. But then they sent a letter, said that everything that happens inside that incubation belongs to the incubation center. I will never have any kind of, anything to say, I would say, on those startups who will be creating companies. So my question to
Correct.
them was, then why I will open up my international contacts of more than 95 countries to you and to your
Exactly.
entire startups without getting any money, without getting any equity, without getting any kind of recognition, without getting anything. What's the cause? Till date, they are unable to give reply to my mail, and it's been approximate 3 months. There lies the basic gap between knowledge, education, and I would say skill set. If I am
Skill.
them,
Yeah.
I would have I would have said, probably because of love of the ecosystem, please come and help our startups to grow, and we'll be more than happy to give you the happiness. I would have said yes. But they are thinking
Yeah.
what they should do for the last 3 months. Before you send any kind of proposition to anybody, just think from their perspective, why they are joining you, why they will come to you, that why
Yeah.
is important. I guess that answers your question, Ahmed, because you made a statement in life that it depends
Yeah.
how people are hiring others. Listen, when you hire someone, again I repeat my words, when you hire someone, if you are in a ball game of hire and fire, in the sense you hire them for 1 month and then you ask them to leave, then you just go for the skill set. You just need that skill set, execute it, ask them to leave. That's a freelancing job. Then you are not recruiting. But when you take someone on board with you for a longer time, so that both of you can grow, both of you can grow things big, then always go for personal touch. Always go for the character. Always go for the understanding of a person. It is easy to give, I repeat again, easy to give, very hard to take. If I give opportunities to people, usually people think that, why this fellow is giving so much of opportunity to me? What's in it? You know, there lies our gap in education. We have been taught from the childhood, if somebody is giving you something, that means in return he or she needs something back. That something back should not be quantified. That something back can be a little smile, can be a little recognition, can be a little shout in the public. That fellow is happy.
Yeah.
How can you give a guru, a teacher, a complete guru dakshina? You cannot give that. It cannot be buy with the money that you're paying as their salaries. When somebody is
Yeah.
teaching, guys, when somebody is teaching, you mentioned about your teacher, he continuously asks you to ask questions. Is he getting paid extra because he's asking you to ask as many questions as you want?
No, no, definitely no. No.
So there lies a good teacher, and there lies probably someone who is just doing a job. So that's our understanding. But if I look at the global perspective of education, I can see that these kind of amazing education are happening in Australia. These kind of educations are happening in US. They are so open. This kind of education is happening in Europe as well, and in Middle East as well. In Asia, I have seen things happening in Singapore, in Malaysia, in Indonesia, in Thailand. I can go on with these educational institutes, wherein there
Correct.
are, I should say, there are angels, real angels in forms of teachers who are teaching students and saying that, please come, ask me as many as questions as you want. And for me, there is no time boundary. For me, my house is your house. Come to my home, go for extra study. I don't care. So guys, do you feel that you miss all those days when your teacher is saying that, okay, fine, just come and meet me in library. Let us study for next 1 hour because you didn't understood this subject. What is your thought?
I really miss him, and I don't know where he's now. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he got out of Malaysia. But I would love to give my many thanks to him, because he was so responsible. He was the way he was teaching. He was really passionate about his occupation and his profession. I also had some teachers. No, I'm not talking about English. Other subject. They just wanted to receive money. They just wanted, to be presented in the school or the institution, and that's it. And I had to pay extras to another teacher just to teach me, for example, mathematics, because I studied mathematics. My diploma is mathematics and physics. But this guy, he was really nice. He was really nice, and he was like, he knew how to entertain us with music. He was teaching us. And you know, when the music was playing, I was like, but he was like, yes, please, okay. But you know, when he needed to shout on us, he was doing that. When he needed to be chilling to us, he was doing that. And I really, really miss him and the way he was teaching. I hope all the teachers would be like him. Then, yeah,
True.
you
Okay,
know
so
what I
there
mean.
is a question from from probably someone you know, Gaz. So I don't know your full name. I think it's Vinod. Vinod, if you have an idea to start an aviation school in Malaysia and you're looking for raising fund, we need to understand your details in the sense, have you
Mm.
started it or is just an idea stage? Well,
It's
as
just
per
an idea.
yeah, as per my
It-
understanding, small understanding,
yeah.
until unless you start something and you put some money from your pocket, if you are trying to raise fund, it's just an idea, to be very honest. Anybody can have that idea. So get some great team on board with you who are specialists in the aviation industry, mind-blowing names which is not there with somebody else, then it becomes interesting. I can go on with these kind of topic, but this is not our life. So I'll request you to probably join our next lives when we talk mainly on funding, which we do every Friday. So that we do mainly in YouTube. You can definitely join us. You can definitely follow Gaz. We can definitely have a discussion every month in World Leaders Summit. We do startup pitching. In fact, last month we had that with our another partner Bianca, and of course we did amazing over there. We had cool investors, 5 different investors. We had amazing, super cool startups. They pitched it. And for your information, probably in March, we are going for a physical meetup in Dubai for all the startups who are looking for fundraising. They can definitely join us. Now, to apply, if you feel you want to apply, go to www.coinnovateventures.com/pitch day. You can find out a page called Pitch Day. Click over there. We can definitely get back your startup pitch. If you're eligible, we can send you the total details, how you can come and how you can join. Well, I have a last question to Gaz because this is basically on education and skill set. I have a lot to
Correct.
share, but this is not my speaking session. This is Gaz's speaking session. So Gaz, when you do multiple work, what kind of input that you get, what kind of input you get from the society, what kind of reply you do, and how do you accept the fact that you have to grow? And for that, if you have to do 5 different work, you will do 5 different work. What's your thought process?
All right. Well, regarding this, when I moved to Malaysia, I learned a lot. I have never been in any university. I have been in institution for English proficiency, but in the university, no, I have never been. But I learned a lot from people and those I met, the right people and the wrong people, both at the same time. After 8 months of being jobless, I found out that I'm why I do not work for myself. Why not? Why I have to look for someone to hire me and for me as a foreigner here, it's not easy to get job. But to be honest with you, I participated in 6 seminars before pandemic for free. Of course, I didn't have. I was jobless. I didn't have enough money, to pay for them and to let them like put me into their platform. Of course not. But that first seminars was all of them were really helpful to me, and I learned a lot from all those business owners who all of them they were working online. They were their own boss, and they were making money online. And then since December, I started being as a business developer, but I started doing marketing for health wellness. And when I entered that business, it was social network marketing. It is a social network marketing business. Even with them, I got a very professional teammate, and they were sharing their knowledge in Facebook groups, in Zoom. And then I was like, wow, how making money online is easy. I didn't know that. I was always considering, to work for others as what I did when I came here. And I'm the kind of person who learns a lot from people. I never paid for my extra knowledge. Even I learned a lot from you, and I never paid you a penny.
I'll
Same
be
as you.
starting asking you for paying my fees.
Okay, sure. Yeah, now I can consider. Yeah, of course. But for the others, it was also the same. But when I entered into that online business, even now, I won't be happy. Even if someone wants to pay me 10,000 ringgit to work for him 24/7, I will say no, no, thank you so much. And for my public speaking skill, I have been announced from. First of all, it was my cousin. He lives in US. He was like, "Yes, you are speaking very well. Why don't you make money to be a public speaker? Why didn't you try to be a trainer or to be a teacher? You have a lot to share with others." And then that's why I became one of the speaker of your mega summit, World Leader Summit, which made me, so proud of myself. And until now, I'm just working for myself. My time is, my time is flexible. I'm totally freelancer in my occupation and in my passion. And what advice I would give you guys who are watching this live? Please never underestimate yourself. Always believe in yourself. And I myself believe everyone has its own talent. You should not be a Bollywood actress or, I don't know, a Hollywood actor or a very big shot with a lot of money. You don't need. You just need to invest in yourself just to find out what's your talent. You go for it. You will rock the world, not only this.
True. Totally agree. You know what? I will give all of you guys a small input, very small input. Well, I have been creating ecosystem for last, I don't know how many years, probably more than 16 or 20 years. I really don't remember.
Yeah.
Trust me, when I started, there was no one who can actually guide me on the game development business. I was completely alone, a kid, 17 years old kid in 1998 in the block where there is no one who can appreciate. So I decided if I grow, I'm going to create systems. I'm going to create the structure so that people can get all those possible knowledge, all those possible network, all those possible money connect, all those possible business knowledge, whatever I'm going to gather. And that's the sole reason I started diversifying my career since 2006 onwards, right? And when I started entering into multiple business, when I started traveling internationally, I traveled around 40 plus countries, approximate 42 till date, probably.
Mhm.
When I mix with people, I actually mix with culture. I don't mix with only people. Until unless you travel and meet people, your knowledge base is not wiser enough and wide enough to understand how people think. It is important to understand how people think and how they act and how they react. So I always try to give opportunity to people. It depends on them whether they want to grab it or they have their own time to accept it. But as an ecosystem developer, we always try to become like tree. Okay, we try to give shadow, we try to give option for birds so that they can come, they can stay in the branches, option for animals so that they can come and enjoy the tree itself, try to give oxygen and try to take the carbon dioxide from the environment. That's what a good ecosystem developer does, and that's what I'm doing. And I'm sure in this mortal world there are others like me would love to join hands with such kind of innovative people, such kind of ecosystem players who understand the real ecosystem growth instead of only personal growth and personal name. So we'll be more than happy to connect join hands and connect with like-minded people. We'll be more than happy if you come next time, next Tuesday. We'll be live once again with different topic regarding education. We are pretty open about if somebody needs any kind of education from one country to another country, irrespective of the fact. We work with 5 different continents. So wherever you are, if you need any kind of support with us, we'll be more than happy to help. Gaz is there, I'm there. Feel free to connect. We'll be more than happy to help you to grow your education, grow your knowledge as an education consultant. Gaz is always there. I'm always there as a partner. So feel free to connect, feel free to communicate, feel free to be with us. Regarding knowledge sharing sessions, will be live once again. I repeat, next Tuesday, approximate same time. Please don't expect both of us to be on the same time. We always shuffle between works. We always communicate with each other, and then all of a sudden we come live. We don't prepare. That's the mantra of communication in today's world, to be very, very honest and precise. Thank you so much for watching us, and thank you so much for all the beautiful comments and all those kind of conversation that we had. George, brother, yes, I remember you. Once you feel that we can actually communicate with each other, we'll be more than happy to communicate and connect with you regarding Russia and Russian education. So thank you so much for another comment.
Still here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so
Very
much.
good.
Thanks, Gaz, for your beautiful information. So next day, probably we will come up with another beautiful topic. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry that we couldn't explore many things of specific universities because we don't want to promote any university. We really don't want to promote any institution. We are not paid by anyone. We are just happy to help you guys if you can grow. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, and have an amazing night ahead. Bye-bye. Peace out. Bye.
Ciao.